When we write programs, sometimes we want to use code that other people have written to help with our program. When people write code they want to share, they bundle it up into something called a library or a package or a module. There are some slight differences in these terms, but we won't worry about those here, and you'll often hear them used interchangeably. The idea here is that you can import code written by someone else into your program so you can use it. There are thousands of libraries out there that we can use, and some of them are automatically built into Python and were included when you installed it. Examples include code for math, graphics, and loading data from the internet. So let's say we were working on a program that does some math, but it needs more than just the standard operators. We can use the math module that is included in the built-in standard library. In order to have access to the code in the math module, at the top of our program, we can write the code import math. It technically doesn't have to go at the very beginning of the program, but is considered best practice to put it there so that everyone knows what modules you are using. Once we have imported the math module, there are lots of things available to us. In VS Code, you can get a list of them by typing math and then hitting the dot character, like this. Lots of operators or functions or things that we can use in the math library or math module, and you can search the internet to find out what all those wonderful things can do. But let's use this in our example to do something with a function from the math module. For example, let's say that we want to round a decimal number to the next whole number. The function for this is the ceiling function, and we call it like this. We're going to use a new variable for our rounded up version of number, and we're going to set it equal to math.ceil, which is sometimes ceiling depending on the version of Python. Ceil or ceiling will round up whatever we put inside of the parentheses. So we're going to pass the original number variable into that ceil function. Now we can print the rounded up number and see what happens. Now we have the 6, which is the rounded up version of 5.12, printing out in our terminal. There are other things in the math module as well, such as the value for pi. We access this by typing math.pi. So here we will print math.pi and see what our results are. Now you can see lots of decimal places with 3.14 and some stuff. Notice the general pattern here. We import the module at the top of our program. Then when we want to use something from it, we type the name of the module, in this case math, then the dot, then the item from the module we want. If we're using a function like ceiling or ceil, it will always need parentheses after it. But if we're just using a value from the library, like pi, there aren't parentheses after it. As mentioned, there are lots of other modules and libraries out there that work in much the same way. Some of these are built in, and some you can download and use. You can find these by searching Python documentation on the internet.